Hello, I'm Dr. Adam J. Bach. I'm the instructor for MHR 441 and 741, Technology Entrepreneurship. These videos will replace class today, which is canceled because of the weather. I hope you're warm and safe somewhere. I had not planned to do this, so these are a little bit impromptu, so please bear with the improvisation here. I'll do the best I can to get you started with the course and to prepare you for the rest of the semester, and then obviously next week we'll get completely caught up. I've divided this into two parts, both of which will be relatively short, about 10 minutes, hopefully just to get you going, and because I thought that one long video would probably be boring or just too difficult to deal with. So first of all, each session will basically look very similar. We'll do some review, obviously not today, any administrative issues, cover the topics, and then deal with anything else that remains. So to begin with, a couple of administrative issues to make sure you're aware of right off the bat. You will have two assignments due relatively quickly, February 1st and February 5th. You have a student responsibility form that is due on February 1st. That is basically a form that states that you've made yourself familiar with the course, with the syllabus, the assignments, and the timing of submissions, and that you're prepared for the responsibilities associated with this course. The second assignment, due February 5th, is a short video you can record with your phone or whatever other video recording device works for you. Basically, you're just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about your entrepreneurial experience and interests, maybe talk about why you're interested in the class. You will then need to upload that to YouTube and set the privacy to public or link only, but not private, because if it's set to private or if it's limited to UW-Madison, then the TA and I won't be able to see it and you won't get credit for it. You'll submit the URL only via Canvas. Do not attempt to upload the entire video. That can cause all sorts of problems. All of the instructions are available, both for this and all other assignments, in Canvas. It provides extremely detailed instructions on what to do. Please follow those instructions. Additional administrative items, Canvas and Top Hat. So first of all, I appreciate that Canvas, as all learning management systems, are a little tricky to get used to initially, but Canvas is what we're using. I've used many other LMSs, and Canvas is the least worst one there is, so that's what we're using, and it's the university's platform now. All docs are available in Canvas. All assignments will be submitted through Canvas. So make sure you have access to Canvas, that you can use it and see information or materials, and you have notifications set up properly. You should have received emails or text, depending on how you've set up notifications from Canvas regarding the winter storm situation. If you didn't, make sure you have that set up. If you have questions about Canvas, you are welcome to ask me or the TA, but we may not be able to help you with it. You may have to go to either the School of Business, tech support, or do it if there are specific issues with Canvas. We are not Canvas experts. MHR 441 students, our undergraduates, you must sign up for Top Hat. If you've got Top Hat through another course, great, you're all set to go. If not, you should have received an invitation and you will need to sign up for it. We'll be doing attendance daily, other than today, obviously, and Top Hat will be the system that we're using to do that. Top Hat costs about $20. I apologize. There's not a lot of good ways around that. So please do make sure that you're set up, because we will be taking attendance on Monday, which will be a required session, of course, like all sessions for undergraduates, and you'll need Top Hat in order to be able to be marked present for attendance. So a couple things about this course. There are three basic components to this course. There's textbook-based learning, there's research-based learning, and there's some experiential learning. So the textbook-based learning is basically the readings that are assigned to you, the lectures that we'll have, and those are tested on a midterm and an exam, as well as a couple of individual assignments. The research-based learning is the secondary textbook written by Thomas Dolby, and for the graduate students, the group project. Both of these will require you to do your own investigation and then report on that. The experiential learning is, again, deals with some of the individual assignments, and then a series of guest speakers who will be coming in. We currently have, I believe, 6 or 7 different guest speakers from different areas of entrepreneurial technology venturing activity, and you're expected to attend and to participate in those conversations. But it's very important to understand that this is not a traditional course. This is not a course in which you come to lectures, I do a monologue, and then you get tested on that. I will cover some of the textbook topics. Inventing Entrepreneurs, obviously my textbook. I know it fairly well, but you're expected to read it and understand, get as much out of it as you can on your own. We'll cover bits and pieces of it, but there simply isn't time to do all of the things we want to do in this class, especially with the guest speakers, and to cover everything in the textbook. So the vast majority of material you're expected to pick up in the textbook on your own, and to then be able to use that both in the assignments and on the exams. The majority of the work in this course is not in the classroom. I do teach some courses that are very interactive, where we do a tremendous amount of activity in the class itself, and that's where most of the learning takes place. But that is not how this course runs, for a lot of different reasons, which we can talk about next week. And so the bottom line is, you need to begin, if you've never been in a course like this before, you need to begin preparing yourself, because while the undergraduates in particular are required to come to lectures, just coming to lecture will not prepare you for the assignments and the exams. It is extremely important that everyone, undergraduates and graduates in this class, begin to prepare themselves for a course that's heavily focused on independent study and independent learning. So if we'd been in the class today, we would have spent some time talking about who tech entrepreneurs are and what are some of their defining traits. And I would have, this is something we may try to do on Monday, depending on time, where we would identify people that we believe are technology entrepreneurs, and then think a little bit about some of the traits that are associated with those entrepreneurs and why they have or haven't been successful. And as you'll begin to read about in Inventing Entrepreneurs, while there are certain characteristics that we consistently find with entrepreneurial activity, there's no single set of characteristics or traits that are consistent across all entrepreneurs. And in particular, there are some distinctions between what causes entrepreneurs to want to start a venture versus what causes entrepreneurs to be successful with their ventures. And we'll have a little bit of time to talk about that as well. It's useful to have at least a starting point, though, for an entrepreneur. The definition, according to the lovely folks at Merriam-Webster, is that it's someone who organizes, manages, and assumes the risks of a business or enterprise, and that's, from a behavioral perspective, makes a certain amount of sense. One of my favorite definitions is from Stevenson, a Harvard professor, who wrote that an entrepreneur pursues opportunity without regard to resources currently controlled. And that's a key difference between entrepreneurship and traditional management. A manager in a corporation might have a set of resources like people and money and equipment. They have a set of goals, perhaps increasing sales, and it's their job to figure out the path from those resources to those goals. But an entrepreneur often pursues opportunity without worrying about what resources they have, and they'll acquire those resources as they go, whether those are recruiting people or raising funds or whatever it happens to be. An economic definition for entrepreneurship generally derives from Schumpeter, someone who invests time to create new combinations. This process of creative destruction in which new ideas make old ideas or technologies obsolete. And in my own research and my own work, I really use a much broader definition of an entrepreneur. Anyone who sees an opportunity and takes action to create change. And in particular, that approach to this definition will be relevant as you do tackle the speed of sound. And I ask you to ponder whether Thomas Dolby is an entrepreneur or not. One of the things that we'll be doing in this course is watching a series of short videos, what I call a tech venturing soap opera, a group of university scientists and staff who are attempting to commercialize a clean water technology. I can't show the video embedded in here because the sound doesn't transfer through. I'm putting the link to this video in Canvas in Module 1, and I am asking you to watch it in advance of Monday's session, because we'll be talking about some of the things that you learn from seeing what they're working on. So please do. It's only 3 minutes long, so it is not a major investment of your time. Please do pull that up and take a look at it prior to Monday's class. With that, I'm going to close out this first part, and please watch the second part to prepare yourself for the rest of the course.